Yeah, Jerry has approached this year no different than he approached last year, and it's been really outstanding the way he's approached it. And he's done a great job of working hard, putting the team first. And, there's times that it doesn't go his way. And that's true of all players, I would say. Like, there's going to be some adversity along the way.
Shedeur Sanders and Jerry Jeudy went viral after their clash on the sideline in their 26-8 loss against the 49ers. The two were caught on video in a heated exchange in which Jeudy made multiple impassioned gestures as he clapped his hands and held his arms out, seemingly frustrated with some of Sanders' passing. However, after the clip went viral on social media, fans came to Sanders' defense after Jeudy has not been playing the best of late. One fan on X wrote, "Shedeur has 2 starts. In those 2 starts, Jerry Jeudy has 4 catches, 2 dropped passes, and 1 fumble." Through 10 games with Dylan Gabriel and Joe Flacco, Jeudy had 28 catches with 8 drops, a lousy 2.8 catches per game average, and this is how he disrespects his QB. Sanders finished the game with 149 passing yards and 1 touchdown and will start next week against the Tennessee Titans.
Jerry has approached this year no different than he approached last year. He's done a great job of working hard, putting the team first. So the Browns' WR coach just went on record defending Jerry Jeudy after he straight up attacked Shedeur Sanders on that sideline. And bro, you need to hear what this man actually said. Chad O'Shea is out here talking about throwing the ball on time and accurately. Was that a sneaky diss at the rookie quarterback? Because it sure sounded like one. While the whole world saw Jeudy clapping in Shedeur's face like he's his daddy, the coaching staff is playing damage control and acting like everything's sunshine and rainbows. But hold up, because what they're not saying is way more interesting than what they are saying.
Right. Shedeur is pretty self-aware. Shedeur takes accountability. Shedeur sat in that meeting room and said, hey, the same thing that all the pundits have been saying all this week. Hey, Shedeur, you got to hit this pass. Hey, Shedeur, you can't hold on to the ball too long. Hey, Shedeur, if you see, you got to hit that window. Shedeur stood in front of the mics and said, hey, I need to be better.
Hi, this is Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com after the Browns' 26-8 loss to the San Francisco 49ers. So much drama in this game, during the game and after the game. But I want to talk a little bit about Shedeur Sanders, what is next for him, and the heated exchange that he had during the football game with Jerry Jeudy. It was caught by the CBS cameras. Those 2 guys going over something, a play on the Microsoft Surface, and just kind of arguing about it a little bit. Ethan Posich steered Jerry Jeudy away. But these 2 guys definitely were not on the same page about what they were discussing. And then afterwards, Shedeur talked about the fact that it's going to take some time to develop trust between those 2, to develop timing.
The quarterback does have a huge factor in our success. But what's most important is that we put all the focus on us and just doing our job regardless of who's throwing the ball. Yo, what's really going on in Cleveland right now? Because from where I'm sitting, this whole situation is looking more and more like a setup every single day. We just had one of the most disrespectful sideline confrontations I've seen in recent memory, and instead of addressing it for what it was, the Browns organization is out here doing mental gymnastics trying to justify it. Let me paint the picture for you real quick. Shedeur Sanders, the rookie quarterback who was thrown into the fire with basically 0 first-team reps during training camp, is trying to lead an offense that's been a complete disaster all season. We're talking about a team that can't block, can't call plays, and apparently can't even respect their own quarterback. And when things don't go perfect on one drive, Jerry Jeudy, a veteran receiver who's bounced around from Denver to Cleveland, decides he's going to get in Shedeur's face on national television like it's all the rookie's fault. Now here's where it gets interesting. The Browns wide receiver coach, Chad O'Shea, sits down for his press conference, and what does he do? He starts defending Jerry Jeudy like the man just won MVP or something. Listen to what this coach actually said, and I want you to pay close attention because there's layers to this.
I think Jerry's done a good job of really trying to, stay focused on his job. And as we say, our job is to get open and catch the ball, regardless of the game, the opponent, regardless of the situation. And that's what we've encouraged Jerry to do. Certainly, Jerry has high expectations, and he should. He's a very good player. So we've just put the focus back on.
O'Shea comes out the gate talking about how Jerry has approached this year no different than he approached last year, and how he's been really outstanding in his approach. Outstanding? Bro, the team is struggling. The offense can't score, and your receiver just disrespected your rookie quarterback on the sideline in front of 70,000 fans and millions watching at home. What part of that is outstanding? But wait, It gets better. The reporter asks a pretty reasonable question about Jerry dealing with so many different quarterbacks throughout his career and whether that weighs on a receiver. You know what O'Shea says? He starts talking about how the more a receiver works with a certain quarterback, the better, and how it's just the time on task is what's most important. Hold up. Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. You're essentially admitting that your receiver hasn't had enough time to build chemistry with Shedeur Sanders, but when he blows up on the sideline, nobody's holding him accountable? Instead, you're making excuses for why the relationship isn't where it needs to be? And here's the kicker. Whose fault is it that they don't have that time on task? It damn sure ain't Shedeur's fault. The coaching staff made the decision to give Jameis Winston all the first-team reps during training camp and preseason. They made the decision to not let Shedeur develop chemistry with his receivers before throwing him into live game action. And now when the predictable consequences of that decision show up, they're acting like it's just bad luck or something. But this is where O'Shea really showed his hand. And I need y'all to catch this because it's subtle, but it's definitely there. When asked about the sideline confrontation, O'Shea starts talking about how we need the quarterbacks to throw the ball on time and accurately.
Needs us to be detailed and at the right spot. And we need the quarterbacks to throw the ball on time and accurately. And everybody's got to do their job.
That was a sneak diss, bro. Throw the ball on time. Was that a sneak diss, bro? Because that felt like sneak diss there. I'm just saying.
So each other can go out and do theirs, and certainly that's true of all positions. It's just not unique to the receiver and quarterback relationship and working together in the development of those two players. That's true of all positions.
Did you catch that? Throw the ball on time and accurately. That's a direct shot at Shedeur, disguised as a general statement about quarterback play. He's basically saying, yeah, Jerry got mad, but can you blame him when the ball's not getting there on time? Bro, that's wild. That's actually insane when you think about it. Your offensive line is getting the quarterback killed every single play. Your play calling has been questionable at best. Your receivers aren't getting separation, but somehow, when things go wrong, it's the rookie quarterback who needs to throw the ball on time and accurately? Let me tell you something about Shedeur Sanders that these coaches don't want to admit. This kid has been dealing with adversity his entire career and has consistently risen above it. At Jackson State, he had to prove himself against critics who said he only got the job because of his daddy. At Colorado, he had to deal with the entire media landscape calling him overrated while leading one of the worst Power 5 programs back to relevance. And now in the NFL, he's dealing with an organization that seems determined to set him up for failure.
To throw the ball on time and accurately, and everybody's got to do their job.
That was a sneak diss, bro. Throw the ball on time. Was that a sneak diss, bro? Because that felt like a sneak diss there. I'm just saying.
So each other can go out and do theirs, and certainly that's true of all positions. It's just not unique to the receiver and quarterback relationship. And
you know what? Despite all of that, Shedeur hasn't made excuses. He hasn't thrown his teammates under the bus. He's shown up every single day, taken his reps, studied the playbook, and tried to make it work with an offense that's dysfunctional from top to bottom. But Jerry Jeudy, who's been in the league for years and has had multiple chances to prove he's a true number one receiver, can't handle a few incomplete passes without having a public meltdown? Let's talk about Jerry Jeudy for a second, because there's context here that matters. This is a guy who was drafted in the first round by Denver with sky-high expectations. He was supposed to be the next great Broncos receiver. But what happened? He had inconsistency issues, struggled with drops, and eventually got traded to Cleveland. Now he's in Cleveland, and the same issues are following him. But instead of looking in the mirror, he's pointing fingers at a rookie quarterback? Come on, man, that's weak. That's not leadership. That's not what veterans are supposed to do. But here's where the Browns coaching staff is really showing their colors. O'Shea goes on to defend Jeudy by saying he has high expectations, and he should, because he's a very good player. Then he says they've put the focus back on doing our job, getting open, catching the ball, doing what's best for the team. See what he did there? He validated Jeudy's frustration by calling him a very good player with high expectations. But he never once defended Shedeur Sanders. He never once said, hey, our rookie quarterback is in a tough spot and we need to support him better. He never once acknowledged that maybe, just maybe, the veteran receiver should show some damn restraint and not embarrass his quarterback on national television.
See a sideline confrontation like that. Is that just so common in football, and most of the time it's probably just not captured by the cameras?
Yeah, throughout my career, I've been fortunate to be around a lot of great players who have been highly competitive, and you see that happen often where players have an exchange that maybe doesn't get caught on the camera, or maybe doesn't get seen because it happens behind closed doors.
Instead, what we got was a masterclass in political coaching speak. O'Shea talks about competitive football players and how we're all trying to do what's best for the team. He mentions that these sideline confrontations happen all the time and just don't get caught on camera. Basically, he's normalizing the disrespect and acting like this is just part of the game. But here's what he's not saying, and this is crucial. There's a difference between passionate competitiveness and straight-up disrespect. When Aaron Rodgers gets in a receiver's face because they ran the wrong route, that's different. When Tom Brady screams at his offensive line because they missed a protection, that's different. Those guys have earned the right to demand excellence because they've been excellent themselves for years. Jerry Jeudy has not earned that right, and definitely not with a rookie quarterback who's been set up to fail by the same coaching staff that's now defending the receiver who attacked him. You know what else is interesting? O'Shea talks about how Jeudy has had to deal with different quarterbacks throughout his career, like that somehow excuses his behavior. He says, Jerry's got a very unique perspective based on his past experience working with different quarterbacks and now working with a few this year. Wait, so because Jeudy has played with multiple quarterbacks, he gets a pass for being disrespectful? How does that logic work? If anything, having experience with multiple quarterbacks should teach you patience and understanding, especially with a rookie. But instead, it's being used as justification for why he can't control his emotions. And let's be real about something else. The Browns knew what they were getting with Shedeur Sanders. They knew he was a rookie. They knew he would need time to develop. They knew he would need support from his coaching staff and his teammates. But instead of creating an environment where he could succeed, they've created an environment that's hostile and unsupportive.
I appreciate their competitiveness, and we're all just trying to do what's best, and that's to help the team win, and that's what we'll continue to do.
As someone who's you've been a play caller, you've been around a lot of play callers. What have you learned about Tommy kind of in this last month since he's taken over?
Yeah, Tommy Rees has been outstanding. I mean, I've been fortunate to be around a lot of good coaches, but Tommy is just very impressive as an offensive coordinator. He's highly, very intelligent.
Think about it. Shedeur didn't get first-team reps in training camp. He's working with an offensive line that's been one of the worst in the league. The play calling has been suspect. The receivers aren't always where they need to be. And on top of all that, when one thing goes wrong, he's got veteran receivers getting in his face and coaches making subtle digs about throwing on time and accurately. This is not how you develop a young quarterback. This is how you destroy one. But here's the thing about Shedeur Sanders that these coaches and veterans in Cleveland are going to learn real quick. He doesn't break. He's built different. This is a kid who's been doubted and criticized his entire life, and every single time he's come back stronger. They think they're going to break his confidence by not supporting him? Please. This is the same dude who stood tall in the pocket at Colorado while getting hit play after play and still delivered dimes down the field. Now, let me say this, because I know some people are going to come at me in the comments. I'm not saying Shedeur is perfect. He's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. There are throws he needs to be better at. There are reads he needs to learn. But that's what being a rookie is all about. You're supposed to make mistakes and learn from them in an environment that's supportive and educational. What you don't do is throw a rookie into the fire without proper preparation and then act surprised when things don't go perfectly. What you don't do is allow veterans to publicly disrespect him without consequences. What you don't do is make subtle digs at your rookie quarterback while defending the veteran who attacked him.
You know, Tommy has done just a great job of providing leadership to our offense when it always hasn't been good. You know, I think the greatest trait of a leader is how you can lead when times are tough, and he's just done an outstanding job being in front of the guys on a daily basis of providing leadership. And I know I've really enjoyed working with him, and he's just done a really good job with our offense.
And that's exactly what Shad O'Shea did in that press conference. Whether he meant to or not, he sent a clear message. Jerry Jeudy's feelings matter more than Shedeur Sanders' development. The veteran's frustration is valid, but the rookie's struggles are his own fault. That's the message that came through loud and clear, and it's absolutely the wrong message to send. You know what's going to happen, though? Shedeur's going to use this as fuel. He's going to show up to practice tomorrow and the next day and the day after that, and he's going to work his tail off. He's going to prove every single doubter wrong, just like he's done his entire career. And when he starts bawling out, and trust me, he will, all these same people who are making excuses for Jerry Jeudy and throwing subtle shade at Shedeur are going to try to act like they supported him all along. But we're going to remember. We're going to remember who had his back and who didn't. We're going to remember which coaches supported their young quarterback and which ones made excuses for veterans who disrespected him. Because at the end of the day, this is bigger than one sideline confrontation. This is about the culture that's being created in Cleveland. This is about whether the Browns are building an environment where a young quarterback can succeed or whether they're setting him up to be the scapegoat for an offense that was broken long before he got there. Right now, based on everything we've seen and heard, it's looking like the latter. And that's a damn shame because Shedeur Sanders deserves better. He deserves coaches who have his back. He deserves teammates who support him. He deserves an organization that's committed to his development. Instead, he's got Shad O'Shea out here talking about throwing the ball on time and accurately while defending the receiver who just embarrassed him on national television. So let me ask you this. Is Shedeur Sanders being set up to fail in Cleveland? Are the coaches and veterans creating an impossible situation for him? And why is Jerry Jeudy getting defended while the rookie quarterback gets subtle disses? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I know y'all got opinions on this one. And look, if you're tired of seeing Shedeur get disrespected, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we're going to keep calling this stuff out until something changes. The Browns might not have Shedeur's back, but we do. Let's keep that same energy. Peace out.